They say done is better than perfect, right? I haven't done this in years. In fact, the last time I filmed a vlog was, before I get too far off topic, back in November of 2023, my friends and I went to Motor City Comic Con. Oh gosh, it's almost 2025. We're just gonna ignore the fact that it's been a year since I filmed the footage for this video. Yeah, but you know what? Okay, before we get there, I should probably give some background. Okay, it's 2016 or 15, doesn't matter. I make my first Lego costume in high school. So like, I've graduated college by now, and we're talking about high school. It's been a little bit. Anyway, my first Lego costume. It's a mascot for the local robotics team that I was the resident artist for, etc., etc., etc. The Lego Batman movie was coming out, and I realized I had the opportunity to convert it. So I did that. Made a video, uploaded it. That was 2017. Or was it 2016? It was a long time since I made that video, and I realized I had these Lego costumes sitting around. Might as well make more, right? And make an Instagram account for them and maybe post them to YouTube. Lego Batman came first, then The Flash, and then I made Wonder Woman and Superman at the same time. Well, I have these Lego costumes sitting around. I can't wear them all to events, so I recruited friends and we wore them to conventions. I spent probably about a year and a half recruiting friends and just going to the local Comic-Con. We did a few small kids events. There's this one library where they just hosted a couple Lego adjacent and comic adjacent events for Free Comic Book Day. I got to bring the costumes there. Me and some friends wore them there. It was pretty neat. Yeah, just been doing that, and then Comic-Cons. But this video, the reason I'm making it is to showcase what goes into an appearance with the costumes, because you don't really think about it at first, or maybe you do, but there's a lot of work that goes into the logistical side of these things. And it's funny because I didn't realize it at first, but there is a process. There's a most ideal version of the process, or at least you can arrive at one. And so fall 2023 Motor City Comic Con Fall Edition is the event where I really felt like I hit my stride with that process, and I decided to film it. So that's what this is. So we're gonna go back to me in the past. We're gonna do some time traveling. It's just a fun way to talk about the fact that I procrastinated, but again, better late than never. Done's better than perfect, right? Most of the time. Yeah, so we're gonna go to past version of me. I'm gonna walk you through pretty much 24 hours. So you're gonna spend 24 hours with me. It's gonna be edited down, obviously, but have fun. I'll see you here in a little bit. That's your cue to
Okay, I am all bundled up right now because I just got off of work, and it is a chilly Michigan afternoon, I guess evening right now, but that's not important. What is important is I'm here to pick up supplies for the volunteers who are graciously going to be helping me out during tomorrow's Comic-Con. Something that I want to continue doing throughout life is I want to take care of my people. And so what that looks like here, and what that means in this case, is just making sure they're taken care of while they are spending their time in these costumes that I've made. I've personally always felt appreciated whenever someone takes care of me. And yes, I just want to return the favor.
got the groceries, and as you can probably tell, I'm a little bit tired. Gonna try and get an early night's sleep tonight, but just wanted to take a second to show you what the apartment usually it looks like the day before an event. The night before, I usually take some time to go through a list that will range from batteries for the USB powered fans in the costumes for cooling to granola bars, water, Gatorade, stuff like that, and then a few other things. So real quick, let me switch the camera on this and I will show you what the chaos looks like behind the scenes. Okay, as you can see, we have, yes, all 4 costumes right here. Wonder Woman, Flash, Superman, and then Batman. They definitely do just sit here and occupy space for the night. It is a little awkward, but my roommate is very gracious. He puts up with this, and I'm really thankful for that. And fortunately, it's only for one night. Now walking around, we have the duffel bag, which carries, well, okay. First off, that's a lot of power. These costumes are not necessarily power hungry. I usually buy battery banks that have a nice and large capacity so that I don't even have to think about them running out of power during an event. It's just something that's not even on my mind, and I love that peace of mind. Moving on to the rest of the contents here. So this is a new thing I'm trying out for this event. I designed and printed these. They are basically just uniform staff shirts, even though we're not technically paid. Just something to add a little bit of pizzazz and some cohesive branding. Moving on, we have probably the most important things that are in here, and those are the undergarments. Basically what you see on their arms and legs, so that those aren't exposed and they're color coordinated. Something that's also new this time around, I'm trying out these she-mags. Basically, these will be for increased comfort for people wearing the costumes, so their hair is less likely to get caught on the inside of the helmet. And it also just helps keep those earpieces in, which, yes, earpieces. These are a lifesaver. They're just simple push-to-talk radios, but the awesome part is they come with little earpieces, which is pretty sweet. And so these are crucial when there are 4 of us in costume and then a spotter and large crowds and lines. These are absolutely necessary when we are in costume and trying to coordinate, like walking around, making sure everyone's together. Big deal. Really glad I got these. It was actually pretty cheap considering how useful they are. There was like $80 for 6 of them, and they all come with the headpieces. So I love these. Not sponsored or anything, but yeah, just standard radios. You can get them on Amazon. Moving on, we have my backpack. Essentially, whoever is the spotter usually wears a backpack, and in here is where we put more essential things that we need, like on the day of. So I'll probably stash maybe some bottled water, a couple Gatorades. I'll also have my camera, and then things like stickers. I'm going to be handing these out again this time. And finally, well, this isn't what I was intending to show you, but yes, food, snacks, everything to keep my gracious helpers happy. And then also the minifigures. So I also, to every event, always bring one of each of these minifigures, like their regular Lego form. And I was trying to dig them out of there. That didn't quite work on camera, but believe me, they're in there. You'll just have to trust me. So, yep, just a lot of double checking my list, making sure I'm not forgetting anything. And yeah, I will see you at the convention. All right, we just got here. Yes, so I'm here with my friend Galen.
Yo!
And we're just going to chill out here for a little bit and wait for, so I can get this steady. Wait for the rest of the volunteers to show up. And then we will get suited up and get into line. Let me show you how everything's situated in here. And here is the chaos. Then going around this side, and We got costumes situated in here, backpack, and yeah, just waiting for everyone else to arrive, and then we will get suited up and go inside.
5 minutes later.
All right, rest of our volunteers just made it. There's one.
Oh, shoot.
They're actually not volunteering, but they're friends of ours, so they get to join for the madness. And then we have the rest of them here. It's gonna be legit, so I'm gonna set the camera up and we are going to get suited up and then go inside.
So whenever I do these events, there are typically two different roles. There's the probably most obvious one, which is costume wearers, right? But then the second role, which is, I would argue, even more important, the spotter. So the spotter is responsible for helping suit them up and make sure all their USB powered fans are on for cooling. In this case, I was a spotter, so I just helped them suit up, put their helmets on. I don't know, this part always cracks me up because the people wearing the suits go from being proportionally awkward to just looking like a giant Lego figure. But anyway, I'll get to the second role of the spotter here in just a second. This part's always my favorite because everyone's all dressed up and we just march right up to the building. It's pretty great. Now, I did underestimate how long the line was this time, but the door people were very kind and they just let us walk right in. Obviously, we had to show our wristbands, but yeah, once we got inside, yup, crowd control. So the second role of the spotter is helping with crowd control. Funny enough, crowd control wasn't something I initially took into consideration when we first started doing this. You know, starting with one or two costumes, there was a little bit of a crowd and people would ask for photos, but with four of them, it really is a showstopper. And I honestly mean that objectively. This draws a crowd and lines usually start forming and there becomes a need for someone to just kind of usher people around and make sure that the walking paths are clear because that is something I take very seriously. I'm always on the lookout for that and making sure that things are going smoothly. Wearing these costumes can be exhausting, and I do realize that. I like to cap it at about 2 hours, 2.5 hours maximum. At the end of the day, it's just a group of friends wearing Lego costumes, so I like to just play by ear and ask everyone how they're doing and go from there. After we gave everyone a nice show and walked around for a little bit, we decided to pack it up and head out.
That was fun. So we just finished wrapping up. Everyone's helping get everything situated, put back into the van. And then we're gonna go back inside and just explore a little bit. But we'll be, essentially incognito. So, should be fun. These guys are awesome. They have a lot of fun. And having friends who are enthusiastic about doing what it is you do and what you're passionate about, something I'm very grateful for. So, anyway. Now to future me. Yeah, so it's been a little while since I filmed that. A little over a year. I don't even live in Michigan anymore. It's kind of weird to think about that. A lot has changed in that year. And a lot has happened. And a lot that I have content to edit and share with you eventually. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into what it was like behind the scenes in making the costumes work. Obviously, it's not a monumental thing, but there's enough processes and little tips and tricks I learned along the way that you wouldn't necessarily know going into it. And who knows, maybe this will inspire you to make a group of costumes and give you some hints or tips and tricks on what to do when you're appearing as a group. I'm sure groups like, is it 501st Legion? The Stormtroopers and Clone Trooper, is it mostly just Stormtroopers? I should know about this stuff. The Star Wars groups that appear in either Mandalorian costumes or, the groups of Stormtroopers, et cetera, et cetera. Like, they probably know about a lot of this. They probably have a much more developed process than I do, but I figured this out on my own. It's a lot of just ad hoc, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then a big part of it too. So at the end of each excursion, you could say, at the end of each one of those, I would basically just open the floor to my friends who helped me, and I would just ask what worked, what didn't work, what did you like, what maybe could be improved, and that led to fast iterations. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, but also a lot of skill building. I think the perspective of cosplaying is shifting a bit. I think it used to be more of a thing of society where it's kind of been pushed, to the back a little bit. But now there's money to be made there. And even if it's not for making money, there are also a lot of very career and industry related and applicable skills I think that you can learn through it. Even if that isn't strictly related to costume design, but if it's also managing volunteers, like what I was doing, reaching out to people and realizing that there's probably going to be a fall through rate or like a cancel rate that people will have to cancel for various understandable life reasons, right? So you just have to plan for that ahead of time because it's gonna happen. There's a real chance that it will happen, right? So you can't just blame that on them or blame that on life happening. You have to take responsibility for that. And just stuff like that, right? It was a really neat learning opportunity. I don't really know where I'm gonna go with these costumes now. Some of you might know I was an exhibitor at Open Sauce 2024 this past year. And it was fun, but I kind of saw that as okay, I got up to this point with these, what's next? So as I think about that, as I go through and edit the footage from Open Sauce, that's the big, next video, hopefully. I'm starting to think about what's next. But in the meantime, if you have any ideas of what I should do next, it doesn't have to be Lego related necessarily. I know this is the Batbrick channel, but yeah, let me know. Either way, thanks for taking the time to watch this. I know I got a little rambly there at the end, but it felt like something worth sharing and hopefully you got some value out of this. Anyway, until next time, I'm Isaac and thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later.